Boko Haram has previously sought to align themselves with other prominent terrorist organizations, and it might lead one at least to conclude that Boko Haram is primarily interested in the propaganda value of such an announcement.
Presidential Press Secretary Josh Earnest describing the recent reports of an alliance between Boko Haram and ISIS propaganda. Well, while it may be propaganda in part, the fact is that casualties in northern Africa skyrocket as Boko Haram continues to massacre innocent people. Their latest attacks kill about 20, leaving dozens injured. Let's go in depth on this story, and we welcome in Kyle Schideler, Director for the Threat Information Office at the Center for Security Policy. He joins us from Newsmax, Washington. We're rejoined by the Director of the Global Initiative on Civil Society and Conflict, Colonel Derek Harvey. The Colonel also a former advisor to General David Petraeus, and he Skypes in from Tampa. Let me begin, Kyle, as we welcome you in. Do you agree with Josh Earnest's assessment that this alliance talk between ISIS and Boko Haram is, quote, propaganda?
Well, I think calling it propaganda really misses the point, J.D. It's true that it's primarily just a statement, but what statement was it? They swore an oath of allegiance to a caliph, to a caliphate, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, and the Islamic State. That is a highly significant statement to make. It carries with it a host of doctrinal requirements, both on behalf of Boko Haram and Islamic State's responsibilities to the emirs who swear loyalty to them. So calling it simply propaganda, I think, while true, misses the point.
Colonel Harvey, propaganda apart, but this alliance, is there some military or terror benefit for these Islamic terrorists?
Clearly, this is going to put Boko Haram, now known as the Islamic State in West Africa, in the game of regional and international jihad terrorist movement activity. It's clear that that's part of the intent. Whether or not they're going to really gain from additional recruits, funding, and resourcing from the broader jihadist community is yet to be seen. There's been extensive talks at different levels over the last year between the Islamic State elements and Boko Haram.
Kyle, we understand that ISIS has yet to formally respond to the message from Boko Haram. How should we take that? I've read reports that it may be part of a kind of racial animus toward these African Muslims. Is there any veracity to that take?
I've heard that from analysts as well, and to be honest with you, I don't buy it, because the Islamic State has already said in its declaration of caliphate that all groups and jihad organizations owe them their allegiance, regardless of race or location. So the fact that Boko Haram has sworn allegiance to them is something that they have said is already expected of them. So having done so, the Islamic State would be acknowledging something that they have claimed was supposed to happen anyway. Now, we might see, as they roll out videos later on, mention of their activities in West Africa or welcoming their brothers in West Africa, but it's not strictly necessary.
Gentleman, Bobby Ghosh, a global affairs analyst, appeared on CNN to address this possible alliance. Let's listen to what he had to say, and then we'll get your reactions.
Boko Haram has lost some serious amount of territory. It has lost a lot of fighters in the recent fighting. So they have their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they need something positive to send out to their followers.
Colonel, let me start with you. Some setbacks for this organization?
They have had some setbacks, and I think a response with some suicide attacks and some complex attacks in this declaration are an effort to sort of reinvigorate their effort. I think importantly, tied to the regional activity that they may be seeking, they have limits because they do have limited resources linguistically, ethnically, and tribally. They don't have, they're limited in that regard too, very much based on the Kanuri tribe in northeastern Nigeria, and that limits their appeal to other parts of Western Africa.
Kyle, since your title is Director of the Threat Information Office, let's ask the obvious question. How big a threat would ISIS/Boko Haram, or now, if there is this alliance, this new caliphate, how great a threat is it to the United States, in your opinion?
Well, I think it's a threat to the interests of the United States. Obviously, Nigeria, a very large oil producer, very resource-powerful country in Africa, and seeing it disrupted is not in the interest of the United States. That said, I don't think Boko Haram is either in the position or interested in engaging in terror attacks abroad. Their primary interest is in establishing territory and creating space to establish Sharia law in northern Nigeria and in other areas in Cameroon and Chad and elsewhere where they're able to. I think this swearing of allegiance will enable them to seek out recruits because it provides additional legitimacy. And so we may see that they're invigorated and expect to see that they'll try to do some disruption during the Nigerian election.
Colonel Harvey, as we were looking at some video from Nigerian newsstands, we saw the leader of Boko Haram, who certainly is making himself very visible. One of the magazine covers said he was considered the world's most dangerous man. Is he really? We have about a minute and a half left.
No, he's not. He has limited reach even within Nigeria, Chad, Mali, that part of the world. But he's very violent and important in that northeastern part of Nigeria. Plus, he's got some competitors within Nigeria. Al-Qaeda aligned Ansaro organization thinks that Boko Haram has gone too far. And AQIM, the Al-Qaeda regional affiliate, looks at Boko Haram suspiciously and regards them as a potential threat.
Kyle, speaking of threats, about 30 seconds remain. What keeps you awake at night?
Well, I'm primarily concerned that with the new Boko Haram Islamic State alignment that we'll see Boko Haram expanding and establishing contacts with Islamic State in Libya, for instance, perhaps reaching out to Islamists in Mali, although the French have done a very good job down there. And so that's part of what bothers me. But I'm still concerned that I think analysts don't genuinely understand the nature of the Islamic State. They don't understand what the significance of the caliphate is.
And mindful of that, Kyle Schideler, we thank you for your insights, and Colonel Derek Harvey as well. Our thanks to both you gentlemen. Now, for more on the terror threat that ISIS represents and its rise to power, you can get the book Rise of ISIS, a threat we can't ignore, for a deeply discounted price. All you have to do is go to newsmax.com/terror threat. We'll continue after this update.